Hey guys, it's Sal from House of Gaia Pythons. So this week's video is going to be a little bit different now that the breeding season has kind of come to a close. We just got our last clutch in the incubator, which was our yellow belly pied to our lemon blast female. I didn't do any recordings of pulling the eggs or anything like that just because I have so many from this year. I just decided to put them right in the incubator. So hopefully I'll have some footage of that I can show you up here. So in this week's video, we're going to go over something a little bit different.
Did I just waste my 2021 season?
Did I waste my 2021 season? No. No. No.
No.
I don't believe I did, but basically what I wanted to kind of go through in this video is some of the things that I kind of learned from this season, especially in terms of selling my animals after they had hatched and feeding them and everything like that. So I'm gonna go over a little bit of that first, and then I'll just kind of wrap it up onto how I thought the year went and what I want to improve on this year. All right, so let's jump into the video. All right, guys, so the first thing I wanted to go over was kind of, I guess, overviews to expect the unexpected in general. But one of the things I definitely was hoping not to have to do on my first season, but I had to, was assist feeding. So obviously we're all hoping that the ball pythons are gonna come out, or any snake for that matter, is gonna come out and just be eating right away. But with two snakes in particular this year, I did have to assist feed. So of course, before the season began, and even many years ago when I had first started breeding ball pythons, I did tons of research in terms of how to assist feed. Back in the day, there weren't too many videos, but now there are tons of videos available on YouTube from reputable people on how to assist feed. And I also just spoke to a lot of my friends within the hobby on their practice and how they do it. Sometimes when you try out, you might have to do it twice. Unfortunately, the first time I tried it, I had to do it twice, or attempt to do it twice. Every other time after that, I was able to get my own technique kind of down, and I didn't have many troubles with it. The snake would eat it off the first go. But just something to keep in mind that not everything is always going to work out perfect, and you have to be ready for these things that kind of happen unexpectedly. And even though it's possible to happen at any time, no matter if it's your first year or 10th year, it's something you should keep in mind that you might have to do. So it is something that I learned this year, that just helped out a lot in terms of being prepared and feeling confident in going forward now. So that's just one of the things I wanted to bring up first. So the other thing I wanted to go over are not hitting the combos you were hoping for. And I know this one seems obvious, but usually when we're doing pairings with certain snakes, we're really hoping for a certain combo, or even just to isolate one of the genes to hopefully push the project forward. And like I always say, stay positive and focused, and I did, and it doesn't always play out that way. You can stay as positive as you possibly can, and nature will rule the other way. And that did happen to me on quite a few clutches. Like, I would hit a certain combo I was really hoping for, but it would be a male. Or I would hit a bunch of females, but they weren't the combos I was looking for. So just another thing, I guess, is just to keep an open mind that even though we have these plans in our heads of what we want to hit and what we want to produce, it doesn't always play forward. It doesn't always happen. So you just have to keep going with it. You might have to pair those snakes together for a couple of years before you hit that exact animal you're looking for. So it's just another small thing that I wanted to bring up. And it was a huge learning curve for me this year because I had so much positivity and energy going into clutches, and I was like, man, I just need to hit one. I have eight eggs. Like, I don't have a million different genes in these combos, so it should be pretty easy to hit a 2-gene female of this snake and miss completely on it. So just, I guess, patience is the key, and I know a lot of you already know that, but for those who are just getting into it, just have patience. There's always the next years. You'll have multiple chances at hitting this stuff. And yes, prices will come down on some of these things, but for me this year, I wasn't even worried about pricing on stuff. I wanted to hold stuff back. So I kind of missed out on certain clutches, but then other clutches, I took a huge win from them. So, but yeah, that was my second point. Just, you know, stay positive and focused, but you have to be realistic at the same time. You won't always get what you were hoping for. All right, guys, so one of the other, I guess the main point of this video, to be honest, was what I ended up producing. So one of the most vital things I took from this season was quality over quantity, and I feel like I just got super excited coming back into breeding ball pythons, that I kind of went with my old school mentality of stacking codoms and you know, adding them to recessive projects later on, which I still think can be a great idea, but in a lower bracket. Like I went a little too heavy on some of the females I was picking up, and I have a lot of single gene females, which is okay, but I feel like now I'm gonna start condensing things. I'm probably going to sell off quite a few of my single gene females, as I have some other females growing up. Now I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you know, simple pairings or anything like that at all. I had an awesome year. It was great for experience, especially having as many clutches and having as many babies and seeing how I can handle that many mouths to feed, basically. And I feel like I did a fine job. Like, it wasn't too stressful. I know I can handle more clutches than just 10 if need be, but I am gonna start reducing my numbers and start concentrating on different projects. And like I said, I mean, I love stacking those codoms, but I definitely want to bring recessive into that, and that I feel is where the market is going and has been going for a little bit now. And now we're even starting to see pushing into, you know, double and triple recessive projects, which I think definitely is where this hobby is going. And it's a bit more exciting, and it's a bit trickier to get these combos that we're seeing. And we haven't even touched, in my opinion, double recessives yet. And we're already moving into triple and quads. But there are so many cool combos we haven't even been close to seeing yet in double recessives alone. So I feel like that's kind of where I'm going to be pushing. And it was one of the biggest things that I learned this year was that I want to start pushing towards these recessive projects rather than just stacked codoms. I did produce quite a few cool like stacked codoms this season, but you know, looking forward, I definitely want to be pushing towards recessives. And that's why I made that whole thing at the beginning, like, did I waste my 2021 season? I don't feel like I did, because I gained experience from it and I learned quite a bit of things. Now, obviously there was way more that I learned than I could put in this video, but this video would be like 45 minutes to an hour long. And I'm not gonna bore you guys for that long without showing you off any snakes. So I just wanted to give a couple of things that I kind of learned from this season, and that was a big one. And another aspect to it is that I found that selling animals was a little bit more difficult for me because of the way I set up my breeding plan this season. Because I didn't hit a lot of, first of all, I didn't hit a lot of females, which was our second point, that you don't always get what you're planning. And the other thing being that a lot of my stuff is kind of lower end. And to be honest, all my higher end stuff, all my animals that were the most expensive sold first this season. All of my cheapest animals I have the hardest time selling. And just being straight up with you, it's not a trick, it's not, I have no reason to tell you otherwise, but that's how it was this season for me. So, you know, the pet trade kind of animals, those are the harder ones to move, in my opinion, and I'm seeing it firsthand. So again, I have no reason to lie. There's zero reason for it. I have all my availability information on most of my videos, which I'll pop up right here. But yeah, so anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll just skip out into the outro right now. All right, guys, so I hope someone learned something from this video, even if it's just you took one thing from it. Hopefully it helps out someone. I just wanted to give kind of a wrap up. I was supposed to do our my animals that I still have for sale part 2 this week, but I kind of filmed kind of late, and it's feeding day tomorrow, and I don't want to disturb any of the smaller snakes before feeding day, so I hope you understand. I'll try to put that video out either next week or the following week. But anyways, like I've said on multiple videos, I have my availability page. You can always message me or DM me on Instagram as well. I'll put my main page up here. And anyways, I hope everyone's having an awesome weekend, and we will see you next Saturday. Also, I will be doing a live tonight, so on Instagram with my boy Nazar from Masma Reptiles and Patrick from Dragon Soul Reptiles as well. So definitely check us out on Instagram tonight. It's at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right, see you guys later.